Welcome to the Berlin Drawing Room.
Welcome, everybody. So the theme of today's class, like the title of today's class is Venus with Biceps. And the theme is related to, basically, it's mainly a class on muscles, because I love muscles, but in the sense that we're gonna explore and look through art history to the representation of women in art history, and how and the relationship between the representation of women and muscles, which is something that it is a complicated discourse, or it is something that has an effect to everybody, like to each one of us, because it's part of the influence of society and patriarchy towards what shape women's body it's, supposed to have or not, and why. So it's a theme that I am very passionate about, especially because through the years it led to a lot of misconception also about art history and artists. Like, we're gonna look at Michelangelo's, and the joke that everybody says, oh, Michelangelo doesn't know how to paint, draw women, that thing, yeah, we're gonna kind of destroy that basically today. That's the goal. So I'm gonna take you through a quick walkthrough some of these images, and I'm gonna talk a little bit, not too much. I'm gonna try to be as as synthetic as possible, because the main goal today is also to draw something together. So we're gonna go through these images, and then we're gonna pick one and paint it together, okay? So to do that, So to do that, I put all the pictures, let's first look at the picture, and then I'm gonna give you the link so everybody can choose the one they prefer. Okay, so let's see if this works. I'm gonna go in share screen. Perfect. And can I do this? Do you see the image? If it's like that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So we can do it like this. Okay, so we're gonna start. The first image we're gonna look at is, this is the Wounded Amazon. It's one of the oldest classical Greek statues, and the Amazons were in the Greek concept, they were the representation of the absolute strength of women, because they were women dedicated to the art of war, and they were women who lived in a society self-managed between themselves. So it was like they were expressing all the strength and all their power. And the picture I paired with it's I'm very fond of beginning of the century pictures of women athletes, because there was this aesthetic of, flexing huge biceps while wearing awesome hats, which I think it's like awesome itself as a combination. And at the beginning of the century, of last century, oh my God, we are in another century already. Okay, yes, kind of 150 years ago, so a century and a half ago, there was this explosion of entertainers and acrobats that were doing shows and going around, and that meant that there were these women developing very strong athletic features. And because there was the birth of photography, they started to be photographed. So we have this record of women who were athletic and, they had muscles, and they also had, were dressed in period clothes. And, we are sure that they were like that because these are pictures. And it's like the first time that we had photographs of women with this kind of body going around. So it was kind of, a thing. And this again, this is the same athlete, La Verivalie Charmant. And I really like there are a lot of very nice pictures. And again, this is the Wounded Amazon. Then we move, this is a Venus, an Aphrodite. And I paired it with Serena Williams because I really like also how you can have muscles and you can have softness on the body at the same time, because the two things don't exclude each other, and they're all part of the complexity in which, physical strength can express itself. So everybody's different, and everybody develops strength in a different shape and in a different way, depending on the training and the sport that you're playing, and a lot of other different factors. And I like this diversity in the strength in women too. This is a detail from Michelangelo Sistine Chapel. This is Adam and Eve. And I paired with, this is from the 80s, when the first, bodybuilding and women competition started. And this is one of the first bodybuilders at the time. Oh, and this is like one of my favorite figures in the Sistine Chapels are the Sibyls. We're gonna see a couple of them. This is all from Michelangelo. The Sibyls were the holder of, they have these books that were the holders of knowledge and wisdom. And at the same time, they were like, they also represented the strength of the spirit and the mind. And Michelangelo really liked to represent the strength of spirit and mind and faith with muscles. So the Sibyls have muscles. And as you can see, we have another vintage weightlifter, Vulcana, that, she looks kind of as Michelangelo Sibyl. So there is this, those bodies were not that, nonsense. This is Tondodoni, again, a Michelangelo painting. This is very, it's a painting with a lot of history. Go read the Wikipedia page if you want, it's super interesting. And this is the Holy Mary. And again, there were a lot of weird comments because this Madonna, this Holy Mary, had biceps, But if you look at, this is American weightlifting athlete, biceps. And this is this is a study, again, from Michelangelo for the Sibyls, so study of back muscles. And these are the back muscles of an acrobat from the beginning of last century. Again, another same, I don't know if, no, it's not the same, but again, acrobat. And this is the Sibyl that was painted from that study. So you can see the parallel that I'm going for, I guess, at this point. And then we have this other, this is again from the 80s and the start of the bodybuilding movement. And again, this is a bathing Venus from Giambologna. And you can see there is this also a thing that I love about bodybuilding and the more the way athletes and bodybuilders and weightlifters and all people were working hard on their physique to create those muscles. They all have this love for classical poses. So you will see a lot of parallels between the way athletes or strong people pose and the way classical statues are placed. So there is this, and in this parallel, I find the concept of working hard to build muscles on your own body as a form of art, like sculpting yourself. And this is something that Arnold said in one of in his, old interviews, that like bodybuilding is literally sculpting your own body and making the work to shape it in the way you want. And it's not, and I found a form of basically like art on your own body. So I like the parallel between the pose and the parallel between the art practice and the practice of strength training. This is one of the most infamous work of Michelangelo. This is the Dawn and Night. It's the tomb of Lorenzo de' Medici. And basically, wait, somebody wrote in the chat, I think. No. Oh, yes. Please, everybody, mute yourself. There is somebody doing kitchen noises in the background. So everybody, check that you're muted because I can't do it now. Okay. So this being said, so this is one of the pair of infamous statues from Michelangelo, Dawn and Night, from the De Medici tomb. And these statues have been like basically the main source of the misconception that Michelangelo didn't know how to do women, because they were like, oh my God, what is this? Like, this is not how a woman look like. Or Michelangelo doesn't, he hated women. That's why he will do, like, this is a man with boob, and all those things. And those are like, pardon the French, those are all bullshits, because Michelangelo knew very well how to represent like more soft women body, but he chose to, like the Sibils, he made the choice to make those women strong and with muscles, because they had to represent, the physical strength was meant to represent the strength of the spirit. So there was a conceptual choice behind the appearance of those figures. And also, this is like the statue, like the pair that it's important for me that we all like observe how we interiorize the idea that if a body has more than a certain amount of muscles, we decide that it's a man, because it is like a societal conditioning. It's not how it works in life. Like body diversity, it's a thing, and all bodies can be very complex, and bodies of women can look very different one from another and have different features. So aligning ourselves, even for a joke, to this idea that a certain amount of muscle cannot be on a woman's body, it's a mindset that then keep everybody in a cage, because there is like a rule of what a body is supposed to look like, and then that rule kind of make life hell for everybody. And so if we take the time like to give us, one moment to reflect why we are so strongly attached to this concept, and then we kind of, we destructure it and try to see what's inside and what other options can come from, opening our mind to that. It will be like, it creates a world that it's more accepting for everybody, ourselves included, because like the main critique that it's given to this kind of representation is that the breast is not realistic. And that's not true, because when a woman develops, strong hypertrophy and muscles. Wait, I'm here. Yeah. That's exactly our breasts look like on a body with, you know, strong hypertrophy. So Michelangelo was not crazy, or like, he literally represented a woman with a lot of muscles and boobs. Incredible. It's not wrong. It's how it is. So this was my, you know, my point. I really care about this point. And then we have more bodybuilders from the 80s. This is a Michelangelo study of a different, you know, this is a study of a woman, and you can see how, because the thing is, we all have muscles, and the way muscles show themselves on each and on everybody's body can be different for many reasons. So, you know, it can be like this, so it can be more lithe, or it can be more solid. These are both women with muscles, and you know, it's a thing. And then we have, again, more 80s athletes. And this is a study from Raphael of the three graces. And again, Raphael chose to represent the three graces, which is like one of the most conceptual representation of mythological women in history, with, you know, some solid shoulders and triceps and back muscles. And because, as I said, there was this concept that which was like very similar to the idea of the Greeks, that the aspect of the body represent, like the strength of the body represent the strength of the spirit. And then this is a more contemporary, I'm gonna finish with these two, which are more recent. This is a Tamara de Lempishka painting, and it's the portrait of Madame something, I can't remember now, but it was a real person. And it was, as you can see, a very athletic woman. And then we have this statue, which is like a different version of, it's the same pose of the Michelangelo's David. This is in LA, I think, somewhere in the US. It's an American artist. And it's the David as a woman with, you know, some solid muscles, but the same, I don't know, mullet hairstyle. I never liked it. Okay, so this was our, this was my presentation. Now I'm gonna put in the chat the link. I'm gonna put in the chat some links. There is the link to the Dropbox where you can find all these images that I just showed you. And then there's gonna be the link to, we made a tip jar for these classes in case you want to leave a tip. So all these links are gonna be here in the chat. And then, so first of all, everybody try to open the Dropbox and tell me if everybody can access the Dropbox. In case you have trouble accessing the Dropbox, what I'm gonna do now, because I'm gonna guide you now through, again, I'm kind of mixed media technique of figure drawing. And you can, if you can access the Dropbox, you can choose whatever image you want for to use as a reference, because it doesn't have to be the same one I'm doing. There is a lot of different images that you can choose the one you prefer. If you have trouble accessing the Dropbox, I am going to drop in the chat the file of the one that I am going to use for the demo, okay? So if for whatever reason the Dropbox is, you know, being annoying, you can just follow the one that I'm gonna do. And let me find it. And I think I'm gonna do the Dawn. Okay, so let me put the file there. Where is it? Here. Okay, so okay, so you both have the link to the Dropbox and the file you can open directly. So that should cover everything. And okay, so let me move the chat here. Let me put this in the spotlight, which I forgot to do before, sorry. And now we're gonna start. So we're gonna go step by step. Usually what I do when I do demos, especially when we are so many all together, I'm gonna do one step and then I'm gonna look at the gallery, and you can hold, when you're done, you can hold yours in front of the camera, keep it still, so I can go around and check what you're doing, and give you pointers in case I see that you need pointers. And yeah, so this is, and then I'm gonna do the next step. This is how we're gonna proceed. Okay, so let me organize my windows. I wish I had a huge laptop with a huge screen, but alas, I don't. Okay, so this should be everything, and I can see if you're seeing me. Okay, so how we're gonna proceed. So since I know that some of you participated in my last free class, for the people that were not there, we're kind of gonna look at the starting, at that basic technique that we look at together last time, which was look for the line of the shoulders, look for the line of the hips, and then do kind of ball jointed doll stickman to find the rest. But before that, we're gonna start with the color. So I'm gonna use a light wash of watercolor. You can use pastel or whatever you want. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna sketch the mass, like the volume, the mass of the figure on the page. Try to do this with a very light color. I'm gonna do it, a piece of paper. I'm gonna do it with this kind of very light grayish purple color. And it doesn't have to be precise. You don't have to be inside the outlines. It's just like not, so we don't have to work on an empty page, which is terrifying, okay? So we're gonna start like this. So I'm just gonna put some color where the head is, and then some color where the torso is, and then I have the hips here, and then I have this arm, hand, and then I have other arm, hand, and then forearm bent. There's a lot of foreshortening in this image. I've been very evil, I'm sorry. And then we have the lower leg going down like this. And then we have this other leg that comes across the torso because it's bended, and then it goes down like here. As you can see, this is not in any way a precise inside the contours representation of the thing at all. So don't worry, it just needs to be, something you throw there. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a pencil, and with the pen, you can use a water soluble pencil on the wet paper, so it like kind of blends together a little bit. And we're gonna do the thing we did last time. So we look for the line of the shoulders, and then we look for the belly button, and then the line of the hips, and now these are related. And then from the line of the shoulders, I can go down, and here I have my torso or rib cage. And then here below, I can draw what we call the panty line for the hips. And then I'm gonna draw for the head, I can draw a circle, and then I look for the line of the eyebrows and then the line of the nose, and then I connect this kind of like in a geometric way, and then I draw the line of the jaw and then the skull and the rest. And then we move on to the limbs, and I have here my shoulder, and then here my elbow. And as you can see, the bend of the elbow is very close to the bend of the wrist, because these are like, it's basically in front. And then for the hand, I'm just gonna draw, like always say, mittens and socks. Then I'm gonna do the other arm, shoulder. Then I look where the elbow is, which is here. And then I look where the wrist is, which is here. And then I go to the other side. And then below, again, for the hips, joint of the hip, look at where the knee is compared to the other things. Find the knee, go down, find the ankle, and then feet like socks. And then the other leg here. Where is the knee? The knee, look where is the knee. It's basically beside the belly button, okay? So my knee comes forward and it's like here. So this is where my thigh is. And then where is the ankle? Kind of beside where the other knee is. So I'm gonna pull this down. And then I can expand the thickness like this. So I have the thickness of the whole body, but still in a structural, geometrical way. But it's important because then it helps me for the next part. And as you can see, I'm drawing a lot of lines and things all together. It doesn't really matter because we're gonna then cover all of this with colors later. So don't worry about, you know, there being a lot of things on the body. Okay. So do this simple structure of the whole thing. Let me go read the messages. You can choose whatever picture you want. So if you can access, yes, thank you everybody that answered the question. Bless you. So yes, you can choose whatever picture you want. You can apply this process to whatever picture you want from the Dropbox if you can access the Dropbox. If you have trouble accessing the Dropbox, you can just download the picture that I put in the chat, which is the reference picture that I am using, which is the infamous Dawn from Michelangelo from the Medici tomb. And one thing, like fun fact, if you then again, you can go take a look at the Wikipedia page for this artwork too. And because there is this recent discovery they made, the two figures are pretty similar, but the knight, the dusk knight, yeah, dusk maybe, it's in English, or the night. No, I think it's the night. I don't know. It looks even weirder because the breasts are asymmetrical and one of them has a very lumpy shape. And historians have been wondering for ages why it was that way, like why Michelangelo chose, like sculpted it in such an ungraceful way. And they found the answer because one doctor realized that the shape that Michelangelo represented was the shape of a breast with cancer. So probably Michelangelo had the opportunity to see the body of a woman that died from cancer, which at the time they had no idea what it was, but they knew it was a deadly illness. And he decided to, because these two figures represent, the beginning and the end of life, basically. So he decided to represent the end of life with this marker of imminent death at the time. Thank God, not anymore, for this woman. The more you know. Okay, so when you are done, just hold your picture up to the screen so I can take a look. Okay, Carol, and then Caroline, and then Wendy. Oh, look at that, lovely. Wendy and friend, and then Mine, very good, and Harash, okay, very good. Hannah, do the head a little bit smaller because it's further back. And then Alex, okay. Biliana too, do the head a little bit smaller. Just correct with extra lines, and we're gonna go with color over it anyway. And then Elise, okay. Looks good to me. Hilar, looks good. Fiona, okay. No, you don't. Okay, wait. There are questions. 1 second. Is it a pencil we used to draw over? Yes, you can use a pencil, a water-soluble pencil, graphite. You can use a pen. You can use whatever you want. Don't worry, because we're gonna go over with color again. And then we have Patricia, Sophie, okay, and Frederica. Lift it up. Yeah, the discobolus one, nice. And okay, let me see the other page. Marie and Claire, look at that. Good job. Hi, Elsa, you're lovely. Okay. Take your time. We're not in a rush. And Mira, nice. And Suzanne, okay. And Flavella, very good. You're doing great, people. And then Gerda, okay. Yeah. Did you draw the structure, Gerda, over the base? Yeah, okay, it's very light because I couldn't tell from there. And okay. I'm gonna keep going back and forth to the gallery pages to check in when you're done. And if you were very fast while you're waiting, you can do another one. If you can start another figure if you want. So I'm just gonna wait a second so everybody's done, like almost everybody's done, because I see a lot of people still drawing. It doesn't have to be a precise drawing at this stage. It just needs to be a structure, okay? And Kerstin, okay. Lovely. And then Claire, okay. And Annie, good job. And Tabby and Martina, how is going there? Show me. Okay, Martina. Okay, Siren. Tabby? Ah, it's wet. Okay. And Marilyn. Okay. Yeah, Marilyn, does it, that's good. Like if the background brush strokes like go wild, it actually adds to the dynamism of the thing. So we want it. It's okay. It's good. It's good. No worries. Okay, so do we feel if I go forward? Is it okay? Yes, I see nods. I see people nodding. I'm gonna take it as an okay. Okay, so now the next step that we're gonna do, it's like this is this technique to sketch the human body is one of my favorite because it's very quick, but it allows us to get the important things down. So like, let's see how long we take. Like don't worry about how long it takes you, but you will see that then if you practice it, you will manage to do these 3 steps quite quickly, and it's a very handy technique you can use when you're like when you want to do figure studies like at a good pace without doing super detailed things. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna mix with watercolor a darker color. We're gonna work kind of like with almost eye contrast shadows. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a darker color. I think I'm gonna use, I could use a blue or like a Payne's gray, or maybe the brown, like a burnt umber mixed with Payne's gray, just to have a darker, it needs to be, the color needs to be darker than the one that I used, you know, on the base. Okay, so something like this. It's kind of, I'm sorry, I always use very sad colors. It's my curse. It's my god soul. Main shadows of the figure. So for example, I'm gonna start from the head because it's the most like evil part. So I'm gonna start from the head and I'm just gonna put color like here where there is the hair, and then I'm gonna do the shadow of the eyebrow, and then the angle of the eye, and then the triangle of shadow on the other side of the nose, and then the shadow under the nose. Don't worry if it's not too dark, because we always have time to go over with the pencil again to make darker details later. And then the upper lip, lower lip, and then I'm gonna do the shadow under this triangular shadow under the jaw, like this. And that's enough to have the base of the head. And then from here, I'm gonna go to the neck, and I have this shadow here between the chin and the shoulder, and then the deep here at the collarbones, the side of the neck here, it's all dark, and there is darkness on the other shoulder there too. Then I'm gonna go on this side and I have a small shadow here under the shoulder. And then I have the shadow between, like in the armpit, beside the pec muscles and beside the lats and the arm. Then the shadow of the bicep, the shadow of the band of the elbow, and then here the shadow under the hand. You don't have to draw the fingers and details of the hand. You can just draw the general shadow of it. And then I'm gonna add this shadow here on going along the side, and you can see that it bends where the hips are. These are the oblique muscles. And then here, the hips, medium gluteus. I'm gonna go downwards here before going up there. And then here we have the shadow inside the thigh where the abductors are. And then the shadow on the outside of the thigh. And then here around the knee, we have the shadow on the inside. And then the shadow on this side of the calf going down to the ankle. And then the shadow on the side of the foot under the fingers, like this. And then a smaller line of shadow on the other side of the calf. And then another small line of shadow here on the side of the quads. And then we go up again, we do the chest. So in the chest, the main shadows are here in the middle on the sternum between the pecs. And then the, Hannah, I can't hit. Can you hear me? You should hear me. I'm not muted. Can you hear me? Ah, okay, now it's fine. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Sorry, Anna. Just let me know if for some reason something doesn't work or the internet becomes weird. I can repeat what I said. It's not a problem. Okay, so we were at in the chest. So we said the line between the pecs and then the breast, because it's a round volume, the shadow of the breast, it's always triangular, kind of like a slice of cake, like this. And the same thing on the other side, this part that it's not hidden behind the knee. And then here I have, again, shadow where the armpit, the pec is connected to the armpit, shadow where the bicep is. And then here, bend of the forearm. Here from under the elbow, going to the wrist. This is the line of the ulna. For the people that are doing anatomy with me, this shadow is the line of the ulna. And then here on this other side, we have shadow there. Bye, Ollie. It was nice to see you. And you can send me your results on Instagram if you want, or tag me if you have Instagram. And then here we have the shadow in the inside of the hand, and it's the only thing we're gonna do because we don't need to do any more details for the hand. And then we get to this other leg here, which has stronger shadows. So here, the thigh, all this thigh here, it's in the shadow from, from the bend of the calf going downward there, like this. Okay. And then on the other side of the knee here, I have a very strong shadow on this side of the knee. And then again, there is this from the middle of the knee to the ankle. This is the shadow that follows the bone of the tibia. Again, for people who are trying to memorize parts of the body. And then here I have again a shadow on the inside of the leg. This we could do with another color. And then here again on the foot, just under the fingers, under the toes, there. Once you have put all your main shadows down, what you can do is you can take a darker pencil. I thought it was gonna be lighter, the pencil that I used before, but whatever. Then you can use a darker pencil, and with a darker pencil, you can go in and just darken the details. Wait, let me sharpen it 1 second, because it's not sharpened. Okay. So with the pencil, you can go in and reinforce the smaller dark details. Like, for example, here the line of the mouth, I can reinforce it, or like. So you can play around and clarify some lines or make them stronger if you want, or like here, the bend of the body in this point, like this, or here, yeah, like the bend of the finger, it's pretty clear there, but like here, the bend of the arm, it's a way darker line, so I can make it darker. Or here on the leg, I can make this bend darker, or here I can make it darker, or here following down, or the inside there, like this. So if you see that there are some darker shadow that you couldn't get dark enough with your pencil, you can go now and, like here, I feel that I could have put the shoulder a little bit higher. Not on this side, like this. So you can play around and correct and see, like the first smudge of color that I did, it went like, it's not exactly inside what I'm doing now, and that's okay. It was just a general reference. And if you want, you can also, like after you did the figure, you can also do the surrounding part. Like if you want to do a little bit of drapery, like you can then play around with the rest. Like this. For example, here you can also choose to put opposite splashes of color. If you look, for example, on this side, there is the projected shadow of the figure on the wall behind that creates a little bit of contrast. So if I want to render that contrast, I can make like a dark color, for like a dark contrasting color. So for example, I can put like a, I don't know, this like bluish green. Let me mix this with a little bit of brown because it's too strong. Yeah, something like this. And when it's dry, the important thing is that you work on dry. You can also use the background color or the background shadow, like here, to cut out certain elements and make them more readable, because we are used to use the contour lines, you know, to define shape, but a lot of times we see shape because of the contrast with the background. So it's important that we also learn how to use shadow to shape things, or contrast, rather than always the contour line. So you can use this, contrasting color also to, play around. You can put the brush parallel to the paper to create this kind of dry brush strokes if your paper is rough enough. So these are all elements you can play around with, and it kind of takes us out of, the obsession of being like spending a lot of time doing something or being overly precise when we do something. We can also achieve a strong enough representation of a subject with, little lines and strong contrast. And here too, so it kind of connects. Something like this. Okay, so play around with colors, play around. Remember, the important thing is that is the elements. So we made the general space that the figure occupies, and then we did the structure, and then we did the main shadows, like these high contrast main shadows, and then we did the background for further contrast. You can use watercolor, you can use pencil, you can use whatever material you want. And like if you see like my representation, it's not detail, it's a sketch. So it's okay if it's not detail. Like the more splattery and fast you make it, the best it is, because it's alive, it's just a quick study. And so don't worry too much, okay? Oh, I'm happy that Suzanne, you managed to be here until the end. Okay. I was worried you had to leave, but I can see you in the gallery, so I'm happy. Okay. You're okay, good. Take your time to work, don't worry, okay? And if you have questions, even about all the stuff that I talked about before, so, I can talk in the background and answer your questions while you're still drawing.
I had a question, actually.
Okay.
I really love drawing figures, and I really miss live drawing. So I like in-person live drawing. So I'm really happy we're doing this. But I kind of struggle to find a way to draw muscles on women, or even on masculine figures or any kind of figure, without showing the ribs, and without making it look like the person is emaciated, and without making it look like the muscles disappear behind like the obvious ribs, because often on muscular figures you see prominent ribs because the skin is very tight, and then the muscles.
Oh, no, okay. I think my guess is that what you may like, because I don't know how familiar you are with the name of the muscles or the structure of the body, but there is a muscle here in this part of the body, of the torso. It's called serratus, and it's an infracostal, like it's a muscle that goes in between the ribs. And oftentimes when you see a figure doing like this, like kind of this motion and contracting here, there are these 4 fingers parallel that look like ribs, but it's actually a muscle. And the trick for that area to avoid the serratus looking like ribs is the insertion. Wait, let me grab, I'm gonna show you here on a random piece of paper that I am. Okay, let me get my sketchbook super quickly just to have a random piece of paper. So wait, here. So basically, like, okay, let's pretend this is an arm. And then this is like a torso. Something like this, okay? The serratus is here. And, you know, it follows kind of this line, the serratus. So when you draw only the lines, it looks, like you say, it gives an emaciated feeling. The trick is to mark the insertion of the serratus, which is this. It's like a V shape. If you focus more on shading the V here, rather than pulling the line, then because of the pattern of these V's, depending on the position, it will not give the emaciated look because the line is broken. So it's not the whole costal, like the whole rib line. And the shadow, wait, let me use a darker color. And the shadow, if you do like a triangular shadow like this, it's like it moves the rib feeling to muscle feeling a little bit. Yeah. But in general, in the rib area, even in the front, beside the abs, if you try to think more about smooth shadow rather than line to mark those small shadows, that also helps with the feeling like of those. And then those people have visible ribs, and you know, it's okay. It's like having visible ribs doesn't mean necessarily that you are emaciated. Like sometimes people have low body fat in the torso, and you know, fat areas in other parts of the body, and that's just how bodies are. So but yeah, it's a good question because it's a tricky muscle that, you know, can be misleading.
Can I ask you a question, G, just about your slideshow?
Yes.
I loved it, first of all. And I was just curious if you might know more about this. So like a lot of the Renaissance images, like the Michelangelos that you compared with the bodybuilders, like, I mean, it was super interesting to see those parallels with the physique, like especially with the breasts, because I was literally thinking, like, how are they going to explain that one? So those, you compared it though with bodies of professional athletes,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, I guess, I mean, so who were these models? I'm just wondering, like, because this kind of training, like, I think of it as something modern, but I could also totally be wrong because I just don't know how people's lives were in the Renaissance.
Yeah, this is why I made that point about those vintage pictures, because those were the first photographs of muscular women, because before that there was not a record of those bodies. You know, we are now, it doesn't matter anymore, you know, with deep fakes, photographs don't matter anymore, but until 10 years ago, you know, pick-on didn't happen was a thing. So, you know, picture tend to testify for us. But the thing is, during Renaissance, usually the people that will model for artists will not be rich or noble people. They would be workers. And if you were a worker, regardless of your gender, you would, like, working in the, you know, in the Renaissance was, you know, quite physical. Like a worker, even a person, even a farmer, like like my grandmother had biceps because she was a farmer. Like it's a certain kind of life, especially connected to the social status of the people that will allow themselves to show naked to others, which was not something that, you know, higher class people will do, show themselves naked to artists. So if you were to show your body to other people, it will be because you were lower class, and like the social stigma will not touch you, or like you were already at the bottom of the social scale, so it will not affect you. And the people in the lower social environment were often people doing, not easy jobs, like, farming or construction, like a lot of works that would inevitably lead to, more muscular bodies.
Could they also have been performers, actually, like
Exactly,
professional performers?
And like I said, acrobats were
right. Yeah, exactly. That's what
acrobats in circuses were the first women with muscles that were photographed, because they had to, they developed those bodies to perform those skills. But also, like, as I said, so it could have been athletes, performers, and sport people, because, there were sports at the time. Like the Olympics are being around since ancient Greece. So it's
would women have been allowed to participate then, or like considered athletes?
I don't know that.
So in Greece, the women weren't allowed.
Yeah, in Greece not. But what I mean is that the practice of sport, it's something that, it's not like acrobats or like those kind of, or gymnastics, where I think that was kind of, regardless of competition, it's kind of another social problem, but the practice itself.
No, it's really interesting.
Yeah. And then before I forget, because I was almost forgetting, yes, the thing that I wanted to share while you I'm gonna give you some more time to finish your work. The thing that I wanted to share is the book that inspired me to do this class, and it's a very interesting book, and I suggest you, again, I don't have a referral code, and I don't get anything if you buy it, but it's a cool book. And it's this one, it's called Venus with Biceps. And it's a book that talks about basically the evolution of muscular women and fitness, like an athleticism and all of this. So if you want to check it out, it's not a long read. Like there are a couple of essays, and then there is a lot of pictures and historical facts. It's super interesting. And I wanted to read you an excerpt from the introduction, which I think kind of, conveys my emotions about this topic. And, English is not my first language, and this thing expresses very well. So I'm gonna read it to you while you finish your drawing. And after that, we're gonna do, like, when you're finished, you can raise your hand or wave your drawing, and we can do a final round of feedback. Suzanne, do you have to go? Okay, so show me. Nice. Okay. Do you want to share something?
It wasn't. Yeah, I liked it. It was lovely, but it's difficult to get the things together. My knee ended up a bit too low, but I like it nevertheless. And it's a good technique. I think I will use it in the future. I can imagine also if you're, on the go, because I did it with pencil brush, and it works well also with these water brushes. So it's a good technique if we can travel again one day.
At one point, we will do live drawing again.
Yeah. Okay. Have a nice evening, everybody. Thank you so much, G.
Bye, Suzanne. Bye. Okay, so I'm gonna read you this excerpt, and pardon my pronunciation again. English is not my first language. I'm gonna try my best. So it says, physically powerful and heavily muscled women have always been upsetting to the status quo because they reverse the natural dominance of the men. Historian L. Thomas noted that many insecure men fear that the bigger the body, the bigger the threat. Here were women who sported muscles as large and impressive as those of men. It was not a coincidence that muscular women came into the scene at the same time that women were beginning to flex their political and social muscles too. The image of some women in this book might look harmless and faintly ridiculous today, but in their day, these pictures and the women who posed for them were considered threats to the masculine system of supremacy. Many of the same battles that were being fought over a century ago are still being waged today. When we see pictures of women bodybuilders, it is all too easy to dismiss them as freaks, lesbian men haters, or steroid abusers. After all, labels are so much easier to deal with than realities. Just to wrap up. Okay, bye Gal, if you have to go. Okay, so to conclude our class, if you want to share, if you want to show me your work or to share your feedback, okay, raise your picture and I'm gonna call you if you want. Sarin, and then Flavella. Okay, so show me the pictures, and then who wants to talk, use the raise your hand function on Zoom so I can come to you. And then Hilar, okay, oh, lovely. Yeah, Hilar, it's very nice that you used a light background, but the contrast is still there. It works very well. And okay, Sophie, very good. Mine, very good at Wendy's. Love those dynamic brush strokes. And Kirsten, oh, you managed the huge head brilliantly. I'm impressed. And Caroline, very nice contrast there. And Patricia, okay, good work. And Andrea, it's very faint, but looks good to me. Okay, Carol, and okay, Arash. Arash, you can do it darker, the background. I believe in you. You can go darker. And then Alex, okay, very nice. And Hannah, okay, Carol, okay, Marie. Frederica, raise yours a little bit higher. Yeah, you cut the figure out well with the background. Loving it. Then Biliana. Okay. Yeah, you use the pastels, but it's the contrast on the side. It's very nice like that. Okay, I'm gonna go on the second page. We have Karen, very nice colors. And Claire, look at those biceps there. Amazing. And okay, Marilyn, I think you can go a little bit darker on the background to get a little bit more contrast, because I really like the tone of the green, but go with a stronger punch. Marilyn, yeah. And then Anna, okay. I like it. Very like strong lines. Good work. And Gerda, okay. Bye, Valentina. Okay. Okay, Anna. Okay, so now who wants to do okay, and Adam and Agatha. Okay, wait, that's Agatha. Okay, and
yeah, Adam has left already. Sorry.
Okay, Adam has left the meeting. Okay, and okay, Marie. So if somebody wants to share something about the process or about anything, just either wave your hand in front of the screen, or as Luis taught me, there is somewhere the beautiful option for raise your hand. That okay, I have no idea where it is. Where is the raise your hand thing? I think under participants. No, I don't know. Where is the raise your hand option? I don't know. Participant list. You have okay. So either use the bottom line reactions. Reactions. Okay, where there is the emoji. So either use the emoji. Bye, Judith. Before you leave, write in the chat where you read about the class, like how you found out about the class before you leave. So that helps us organize better communication. Okay, Claire.
Sorry, Elsa put the hand up for me and then walked out. Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed drawing a very strongly muscled woman. And so it's a contrast to drawing plants, which you've been doing, and then the magical creatures. So it was fun to do a human. Yeah, I also like the very kind of loose style of painting as well. Was fun because I tend to be very careful when I paint, so this was quite nice. I was also using I didn't have a pencil that was water soluble, so I used this like brush pen. I don't know if you see it. It's a brown brush pen, and that was actually really nice to use because it's slightly water soluble, and it was kind of fun to use.
Yeah. You can use. There are all those water soluble ink pens that I also use for similar purposes that render very, very, very well. So good.
Elsa, you didn't talk about yours?
You want to say hi, Elsa?
Elsa's also left the building, but you can see some. She didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she.
Lovely. Thank you. See you soon. Okay. And bye, Nina and Hilary. Bye, Tom. Okay, Marie.
Do you have the name of the author of the book, Venus with Biceps?
I'm gonna write it in the chat. So,
okay. Sorry, okay, yeah.
Venus with Biceps, and it's from the David L. Chapman and Patricia. Oh my God, Vertinsky. Okay, there.
Okay.
And okay, let me see the second page if there is somebody raising. It's that Tabby raising. No, it's that Martina raising the hand. Or just I see a hand in Tabby's and Martina's screen going. Yeah. No, what? Okay, I think Martina is just, gesticulating. Thank you. Nice. Okay, bye. And Kirsten. Hi there.
Hi. I also just want to say how much I enjoyed trying a different technique of drawing the body, because as someone else said before me, I tend to be really into the tiny details and into getting every tiny little bit perfect, and then it often just looks kind of dead in the end. So I really enjoyed trying this today, and also kind of having the time pressure of the class, because then you just have to draw and see what happens. So thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. And it's true that putting yourself under a little bit of time pressure tends to unblock things.
Yeah.
And you can use this kind of gestural drawing as it is, or you can use it as a base for more detailed work. But if the starting sketch is dynamic, then the detailed result is going to look dynamic as well.
Yeah.
And then Alex, bye Alex, thank you. And I don't know, is there anybody else that wants to share something? I'm here for you. Okay, so if nobody else wants to share something or ask me something, or if there aren't any other questions, I'm gonna start to wrap up. And thank you for all the sweet things you're writing in the chat. I'm loving it. And so to wrap up, so this is the book. Wait, let me put it here again in case somebody wants it. And so thank you everybody for participating to the class. And as I always say, once you are my student, you are my student forever, even if it's just for a free class like this. So if you want to send me your practice, or if you want to ask me questions, I put at the beginning of the chat, if you scroll back, there is my Instagram. That's like the easier way you can contact me, and just you can either tag me in your work or send me DMs and ask me questions, and that's okay. And I would really love to, for you to keep drawing and keep, expressing yourself. So if I can be of support for that, I am very happy to. And then if you want, keep an eye on the Berlin Drawing Room website, because we are planning to have one free class each month, sort of, for the whole year. We worked out a full calendar. There's gonna be a free class almost basically kind of every month. So keep an eye on the Berlin Drawing Room website, because you're gonna find all the informations there, and sign up for the newsletter, because you will get the link for the free class there if you haven't signed up yet. And I don't know if, Mira, do you have the link for the newsletter sign up to drop in the chat super quick for everybody in case somebody is not signed up? I don't know. I didn't think about putting it in before.
No, I don't have the direct link on hand, but it's
okay. Go on the website, people. There is
just on the website. So.
Yes.
And I think, however, you found out about this class, some kind of landing page.
Yeah, exactly.
It all connects to the same thing. We're not so sophisticated that we have different mailing lists for different things.
Exactly.
All together. We're one big family.
Yes, we are very easy about this. Okay, and yeah, so I wish you everybody a lovely evening, and I hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope, this is my personal agenda. I hope that this class inspired you to consider lifting weights, because it's super good, for bone health, joint health, general metabolism, and to become as muscular as some of the women that we saw today. It actually takes a lot of work. So if you just do basic chill weightlifting, it's not that easy to get those muscles. Trust me, because I've been trying a lot to get big muscles, and it's not that easy. But lifting is very good for your health. Resistance training, it's proven to be good for you. And so maybe, you may get inspired in trying it out, and, do some push-ups or stuff like that. If you want, if you want to talk about body weight training or weightlifting, again, come into my DMs on Instagram. I am very passionate about that topic, other than art too. Always there for the Fit Bro talk. And yeah, so I don't know if anybody has any other question. If not, I'm gonna say goodbye. And as usual, to say goodbye, everybody, unmute yourself all at the same time, so we can all say our goodbyes and hear each other. Okay?
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Love you all. Bye.
It was very nice. Thank you.
For current workshop offerings, please visit our website. Thank you for watching.